It's Bourbon Night. Hello, I'm Chad.
I'm Sarah.
Sarah, we have an award-winning bourbon in front of us. Ooh, what do we have?
We have Barrell Bourbon Batch 21.
Barrell Bourbon Batch 21.
There's some alliteration
I like
for you.
the alliteration. This, as we said, is award-winning.
It is. What award did it win, Chad?
Well, let's get this right. From breakingbourbon.com.
What a great reference.
Is what I'm reading from. So it received double gold and was named Best Bourbon and Best Small Batch Bourbon, both overall and within the 6 to 10 year category at the 2020 San Francisco World Spirits Competition. So there you
now,
go.
let's be clear. This is technically 10 years old, but it is a blend of 10 to 14-year-old.
Right. Gotta go with that
bourbon.
Youngest.
Correct. You have to put the youngest on the
That's how
label.
the
So
rules
10 year is
go.
correct.
10 years, correct.
It is a blend, undisclosed sources, but from Kentucky, Indiana, and Tennessee.
Okay. Pause for cork pop. Ah.
Oh, very nice.
That one fought me a little bit, but okay, there we go. We also want to say thank you to our...
Huge thank you
to our friend Andrew for finding this and contacting us and saying, hey, would you all like a bottle
He
of this?
literally connected all the dots.
All them dots. So,
Hashtag Woodrew.
Woodrew, thank you for this. You are awesome and amazing. You're both.
I would love a pour. So this mash bill is also undisclosed, as is its origins, again, being from those 3 states.
Yeah.
So we don't know, but I do know that I have had a few barrel bourbon, experiments before, their blends.
Sure.
And I have liked a lot of them.
There you go.
I love how they don't just stick to one thing. Some people would say, well, that's not dependable and da-da-da-da. Well, that's fair, but if you are an experienced and educated whiskey drinker, then you'll know what you will and won't like, so you can research a bottle, find out what was blended, and then determine whether or not it's worth your investment.
Also, this is 106.34 proof.
Very specific.
We should say that.
I just love how they keep it fresh, keep it spicy.
Keep it spicy.
Keep it
caliente.
Keep it caliente.
All right.
In this time of where every day feels like Groundhog Day, it's nice to have something interesting.
Well, I can smell the Tennessee right off the bat.
I also can smell that. Wow,
it's Dickel.
Weird how it smells like Tennessee whiskey.
Well, specifically George
Dickel. We cannot confirm or deny.
But it is.
I mean,
I mean, my nose knows.
I definitely can't deny it because I can't confirm it.
Yeah,
it
comes through first.
It's almost like a hay.
It's
and
a different type of nutty.
Like a old hay, dark nutty, dry. In the way that hay is dry, like that type of old barn smell.
Old barn.
Is that? No, I mean it truly though.
I think that's the name of a candle, Old Barn.
Old Barn. But there's also those typical caramel notes in there too that sweeten it up just a bit, but the nose is overwhelmingly Dickel.
It is. I'm searching for the Indiana and the Kentucky in here.
Definitely. It smells like peanut dust.
So obviously the Indiana is MGP.
Well, we would assume.
We would assume.
And we would assume this is
the
Dickel.
Tennessee is Dickel. The Kentucky is more up for grabs.
Totally. Very nutty. Very nutty. Chad likes.
Well, it's not a Jim Beam nutty.
It's not a Jim Beam nutty. It
or
is definitely
a Heaven Hill nutty.
I know you guys have heard us describe this before, and I'm gonna just take the liberty of talking for both of us at this moment. But if you visit a Logan's or a Texas Roadhouse or any of those places where you're allowed to crack peanuts instead of bread, and throw the shells on the floor.
I don't think you're allowed to throw them on the floor anymore. Just
really?
Yeah, I think that's a trip hazard.
You used to be able to. Anyways, those places where you were having like freshly cracked roasted peanuts, used to have this like peanut dust in the air that would get to smell musty.
Particulates.
It would be particulates, and it would be a musty smell because it would be in the restaurant all the time. And that is what I'm tasting on this.
Well,
initially,
it might be the synapses connecting here, but with that cracked peanut smell, I am thinking of steaks. Maybe that's a Roadhouse connection in my brain, but there is like maybe this savory type of quality.
I'm with you, Chad. This is 100% taking me to the nearest Roadhouse, which is actually kind of nice because we're filming this mid-COVID pandemic, so we are at home. This is taking me to restaurant world. Now, it's not the restaurant that I would choose, but maybe it's the restaurant that I need.
Also, this episode brought to you by Logan's Roadhouse. Be sure to call them.
Those rolls.
It's not brought to you by Logan's
Brought to you by. We are in no way affiliated with or partnered with Logan's Roadhouse. Though if they would send us rolls for life, I would murder someone because then I would just
send us a gift card, Logan's. We've already talked to you.
Nope. It does take me there, though. It does. If you've ever been in Roadhouse environment. And I'm not talking Patrick Swayze.
Roadhouse. Or Family Guy, where he watches Roadhouse.
And even the more that I knows it, it is that.
Very savory. I can almost taste, the juice off the steak. It is chewy.
Ooh,
it's
Chad.
Chewy.
That's some descriptions.
It's also brought to you by 50 Shades of Steaks. It's just, it can be medium rare.
Someone should write that book.
Rare. It can be
50 Shades of Steak.
We shouldn't have recorded this before dinner.
Shouldn't. I'm hungry.
Because we're just talking about food now. The more I get into it, the more I'm liking this. Initial sip.
I was thrown off. Right?
That Dickel Bottled and Bond.
Immediately.
Memory popped in, and I was like, oh, it's this. Second sip,
it's
better.
It's not Flintstones.
Third sip, better. The more I go back to it, the more it's revealing itself, and I bet this is going to open up in the glass. The more we let it sit here.
Sure.
Just kind of ruminate. Well, we could put some water in it later. It's over that 100 proof mark, and that's kind of our rule. But
I'm also just interested in letting it be for a bit.
Yeah, we can let it be for a while.
I'm gonna say that this is one where I am very much on the same page as you, Chad. Like, when we first tasted this, I was like, it's a lot. It's a little jarring.
Well, it's definitely that. It's very specific.
It's very specific.
Some distilleries have a signature lane that they can get in. This was really tasting like that Dickel, but not just Dickel, more like that Bottled and Bond.
Yeah.
13 year, was it? 12, 13 year?
13, I think.
Yeah, but it's really starting to develop. It's starting to open up. It does have this nuttiness I'm starting to appreciate more and more.
Oh, 100%.
The more I let it linger.
Second, third sip, I was really getting that nuttiness and that richness that comes with that I think is akin to that, like, if I may, steak juice that you were talking about.
Yeah. I'll allow it.
That I think is actually really nice. Now, first sip, would I have put this in a double gold winner category myself? No.
I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest. No.
No.
I wouldn't have.
No.
But the more that we sit here and sip on this, the more I'm like, I see where you're coming from. I hear you, and I respect you, and I see what you're saying.
Do you want to let it sit here for about 10 minutes and come back?
Well, and the other thing that we could do is add water to one. Add water to not the other one.
Sure. I give it 4 drops of water. We're going to let it sit here for about 10 minutes. We're going to come back, see what's what. See you then. But before we see you then, we want to tell you about whiskyambitions.com. It's our home on the internet for t-shirts such as this, Glencairn such as this, water glasses such as this, rocks glasses, not shown, challenge coins, not shown, and more always coming soon at whiskyambitions.com.
You can become a patron at patreon.com/itsbourbonnight and join in our community and conversation. We've got polls, we've got patron-only podcasts, and so much more coming all the time.
Yeah.
Just for you.
There you go. Okay.
Just for you.
Now we'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and uncover these with coin 443 and
464.
464.
Of
there
Texas.
There you go. Little challenge coins there. All right.
No one asked you.
I have the
with
water.
Water. I have the sans water.
Okay.
Still, that nuttiness is overwhelming.
Crazy.
It's a grain forward, nutty,
barley. Yeah.
I would definitely put money on the barley content.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it was the time sitting or the water added, but I like this.
All right, well, let's switch.
All right.
Now I have the with water.
I have the unadulterated.
Ooh, the nose is the nose
I
lost
like that
a
nose
lot.
better. I like that
really?
nose better.
Because the nose lost, I think, for me.
This has it is more muted, but what this has is more of like that, just like sugary syrupiness, and that's just more nutty.
Ooh. Oh, this is one of those where I like the nose better on the uncut.
I like it with water.
The taste, though, the palate. I'm going to go with the with water.
Yeah.
It really balances it out.
Well, it tones down
smooth.
Those extreme memories that we were having of
Can I have the droplet?
Sure. Of the Dickel Bottled and Bond. Mm-hmm. Gets toned down by adding the water, I feel like. With the water,
so much balanced.
This is going to sound weird, but it becomes more of a normal bourbon.
I think you're right though, but it leans as a blended bourbon. Normal would mean their sources are not disclosed. So, the fact that we could say, oh, this tastes like Dickel, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know, but the fact that it's leaning one way, when it's actually three things, I think the water actually helps it feel more like a blended whiskey.
Right, I agree with
and that. I like that better because it's less one-sided, it's more balanced, it's more in the middle.
Yeah.
And now I can see even more why it won. You still get that nuttiness, but it's less of that musty, overpowering, takes you to that one place, which is a roadhouse environment, where you can get a steak and shrimp for $25.
Oh man, 2 can eat for $15.
2 can eat for $30.
Those aren't real things.
Plus there's rolls.
Plus there's
and
rolls.
margaritas.
Yeah. The Roadhouse tea. I remember that was a thing. All right, Sarah, let's talk about the brass tacks. This costs $90 retail. After it got those double gold medals and those accolades, I'm sure secondary prices kicked in. Luckily, we were able to get this. Again, shout out to our friend Andrew.
Woo, Drew.
Getting this at retail, $90. Even putting the medals aside.
Let's put the medals out. Let's take them out of this.
We're taking them out of there. Are you going to recommend this or not?
That's a really good question, Chad. I'm going to go ahead and say I like it with the water. I think I wouldn't pay a hair over $90 for it with the couple of drops of water. I think it's an awesome balance. Really great flavor profile. Mm-hmm. Do I think that it should be $90? This is the question. I'm fighting with me from 3 years ago who believes no.
Actually wasn't the question.
No, that wasn't the question. Would I recommend it?
Yeah.
Flavor-wise, yes.
Okay.
I think it's great. Price.
Or is this going to be like find it at a bar at a good pour?
I'm going to give it a but more towards the thumbs up. And the reason why is because I believe that it really does change with a couple of drops of water. It is super enjoyable, and I think it's approachable for people who really love whiskey and understand that they would like this blend, and people who don't, who are just entry level. And so you could buy this and share it with a lot of people. I don't know. I know a lot of other things that are priced higher than this that aren't as good. So I can't fault it for being $90.
No.
I have to say, so that's why I'm going to give it the on price. I'm going to give it a yes on taste.
I'm going to go a little different direction. I actually understand the price because they are sourcing from 3 different states. So they're not producing the distillate. They have to buy that. There comes a markup.
Right.
But 3 times over. 3 different states or distilleries, we're assuming, it could be more than 3, that they are then marrying together to find a recipe such as this. So I think 90, not breaking 100, is actually, in this day and age, 2020, really good for a non-distilling producer. I think that's pretty good. Taste-wise...
That's a good point, Chad.
Thank you. I have to bring into mind the Bardstown Bourbon Company because I feel like they're in a similar situation. They are making their own distillate, but their older stuff like this would also be sourced, right? Mm-hmm. They source from Kentucky. They source from Tennessee. They source same places that this place is. They are about $40 more expensive, typically. Normally around $120, $130 for comparable things. Discovery Series, right? The Pfeiffer Pavitt.
What are you going to say?
Prisoner, finished. I like those a little better. Now they're more expensive, so take that for what it is. For $90...
But that makes sense if we're talking about 130, 120, 130 versus 90.
Which is exactly my point. I feel like this is the right level of me liking it for the price, considering if you pay $30 to $40 more, you get, you're spending more, but you're getting something that I like a little bit better.
Sure.
So because of those 2 things, I'm just going to straight up give it the thumbs up.
All right, fair enough. Now, but who's to say? Best of? Who's to say? Apparently the judges of, whoever gave it double gold are who's to say. I'm not. the person.
We were not asked to be judges.
I was not asked to be a judge, and I was also not asked to try this side by side with a bunch of other things. So,
right.
You know, that's what you get.
Can I see this?
Would I be disappointed in this bottle? No.
No. Can I see this winning the best of those two categories that it won? Can't say because I didn't try everything else.
Correct.
But it wouldn't be, if I hadn't heard that and was just trying this, I wouldn't have thought that.
I wouldn't have thought. It wouldn't have been like, you know what, we need to put this on our list of best of.
Right.
I just really like it.
Yeah. It is out of the norm. It's, you know, if you're tired of the same old,
If you're tired of the same old.
I think this is a nice departure. It's a different type of flavor. I think combining the 3 states into this has yielded something unique, which is cool.
Yep.
So if that's something that you're looking for, I think this is all the more for you.
I think that's a great summary.
There you go. Hey, if you haven't subscribed already and like to do so, you can do that by clicking right up here. There's also suggestions of other videos. We hope to see you over there in those. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Chad.
All right, until next time, drink more bourbon.